YouTube, this is Jose Sport Talk, and I just want to make a quick video of this upcoming match on Wednesday for the Europa League final, Manchester United versus Tottenham. Um, Honestly, most of the time I've been pretty confident, when a team is going to win a final. But with this United, it's hard to tell. Even though when it comes to the Europa League, Manchester United has been doing pretty well. At first, they were kind of shaky, but once they got into the rhythm of the competition, they actually been playing pretty well, and they made one of the biggest, like craziest, biggest comebacks I think in history. Like it was crazy, especially with the tension because what's his name? I think it's Matic. I think it's Matic. If I'm not mistaken, was kind of beefing with Onana and stuff. So there was like a kind of a little bit of tension before the match, but the comeback was crazy. They're in the final and against Tottenham, which we've lost already 3 times to. Um, I think it's gonna be a hard game. I think uh, I think if United win this final, they save the season. They're back in the Champions League, which is crazy for a team that's like in, I think if I'm not mistaken, 16th place in the table in the Premier League. Winning the Europa League final is everything to them right now. Going back to the Champions League because here's the thing. Right now, Ruben Amorim, the new coach, it's hard to judge his performance this season, especially because he's a coach that came in mid-season, and he has players that he didn't ask for. So it's hard to put any complaints to see what he can actually do as a coach for Manchester United because he hasn't had a full season, hasn't had a preseason, hasn't had the chance to pick his players. And here's the thing: it's kind of hard to pick your players when you're not in the Champions League. Players want to play the Champions League, and if you're a club like well, not only just because you want to get new players, but you're Manchester United. You're supposed to be there. Manchester United not being in the Champions League, especially this season, felt a little bit off, and so like we have to win this final to get the players we want. So we could convince players, they could see that there's a project that we're in the Champions League with a new coach, that just won a final in the Europa League final, and also just to be there, just to be in the Champions League. It's Manchester United. Manchester United should not be playing Europa League. They should be in the Champions League. Making quarterfinals, semifinals. That's what they should be doing, making finals, not being where they're at right now. But honestly, we've been getting our butt kicked by Tottenham this whole season, and honestly, I feel like this game is the one game that we're actually gonna win because one, we've lost 3 times. I don't see us losing 4 times. Um, and the second reason is because after seeing the last game against Atletico Bilbao, they look like they knew what they were doing. They were playing good in the Premier League. I don't know what's going on. They can't seem to get it right. They play awful, but when it comes to Europa League, they're a whole different team. And I hope I get to see that same team that played against Atletico Bilbao. I hope I get to see that team that gave their all against Lyon. And I'm pretty sure they'll win the final. And again, they're playing against Tottenham. They're known to choke, but honestly, we've also been known to choke too. So it's fair game. But I got Manchester United winning. I hope they do it. It will save the season. It would it would put them back in Champions League, something that we really need. Give players hope, give players experience, and and be able to bring in new players. And hopefully we get to get rid of some of these players we have now and bring in better players. I think um, I think our problem most. I think we need a good striker. We need a really good striker. We need a good left winger. We need a left back, and I don't know. Honestly, yeah, it's just this team needs a whole like just needs to start from the ground up and get just a whole bunch of new players. Honestly, I thought this season was the season. We got a lot of signings, but then the signings we got were what Ten Hag wanted, not what Ruben Amorim wanted. So hopefully this season, Ruben Amorim gets to get what he wants and gets to show us what his plan is for this team and what he can give us. You know, he had a good project at Sporting, so hopefully he could replicate what he did there at United and bring us back to glory and win us a Premier League. I think it's crazy because we win the Carabao Cup, we win the FA Cup, we're in the Europa League final, but for some reason that Premier League is something that we just can't compete for, and I just don't get it. But hopefully, you know, next season, you know, we could compete for it and start being the club that we should be, that United is, that they're known for, and go back to what they used to be. And I think Ruben Amorim could do it, especially what he's done with Sporting. Um, but let's see what happens. I got United winning the final, and I'll be back on Wednesday after the game and talk about the game and what I thought. So, all right, so see you again Wednesday on Jose Sports Talk.